Hello, Mom.
Hi. Hi, Angela. Here we go again. Today we're going to do a quickie, what I call a quick stew peas and rice. And by the way, have you noticed my new portable island? Now I can look
Yes.
at you full on. And I can have all my things here that you can see it instead of looking to the side. I really like it. Anyways, why I call this a quick stew peas? Because we don't have to be buying pig steel to soak and cook. Also the red bean for doing the same thing before you can get on with making the stew peas. What I do, I buy canned red beans, and I like to get a good red bean. Not some of them tend to be a bit hard, more tender. And I buy a cooked ham, as you can see here, and I cut cubes. I pour some boiling water over it for about 15 minutes to get rid of some of the salt. And then I have the usual. Some chopped onion, some chopped scallions. We got to have those scallions, we're Jamaicans. And sprig of thyme. And this is new to my stew peas and rice. Finely chopped red, green, and yellow bell peppers, whichever ones you have. Just a little.
Those that fresh thyme that's a big sprig of thyme. You're not going to use the whole
it's
thing.
only the leaves that will be giving us the flavor.
Okay.
So if you were taking that off, but I like to put the whole thing in.
Okay.
And everybody will put as much as they need. This is just my thing at the moment. You might be wondering what this is. It's just water that I rinse the cans with to keep for the cooking the stew peas. I get everything from the can, good to the last drop. This is what we look forward to when we were kids, the little dumplings in the stew peas. They call them spinners. But most of the time I don't do spinners. I just take a spoon with small bits and drop in. But today I'm going to do spinners because that will make it more authentic. So I'm going to start. First I'll start with my butter. All the measurements will be on the website, so I won't be saying an ounce of this and a drop of that. Okay? So I'm going to start with my butter. You can use margarine as well. I just happen to have butter today.
It's pretty straightforward. You're going to melt some butter in a hot pan. This particular recipe is all about how can you make something that you love, because generally stew peas is a stew, right. So stew means it usually takes a while to cook, but you're doing a recipe for those busy people nowadays like me.
Yeah.
And a way to do a traditional dish in a new modern way, but it has that same beautiful flavor.
Butter is melted, and I'm going to add the onion and the scallion, also called green onion or spring onion. Like I said, this red bell pepper and green bell pepper, all the different color bell peppers chopped. This is optional. When I was growing up, there was no such thing to put in your stew peas. But like Angela said, this is like a modern version. What I've really switched up is the meat and the red beans, because normally we would buy pig's tail, salted pig's tail from the West Indian store, get the guy behind the counter to chop it up in smaller pieces, and that you have to soak overnight because it's got lots of salt. So you'd have to cover it with cold water the night before you're ready to use it to get rid of the salt. And the red beans, if you're going to use dry red beans, you also have to cover it with water and soak it overnight before you can start using it. So I'm to use the canned one, which is ready to go, and the ham, whichever ham you can get your hands on. I get this one at the supermarket and I quite like it. And it's not overly expensive. So that's what I use. Is that good enough for you, Miss Anne?
Yep, sounds good.
I'm gonna add a little bunch of thyme. They say a sprig, but this is more than a sprig. Put it in. This is the water from rinsing the can that the beans came in. I saved that. Give it a chance to come to a boil before we put the red beans in. I'm gonna add the red beans. I'm gonna check it for salt. Because there's enough pepper in. For me, I'll just put a pinch of salt. What they call a pinch. No more than that. I'm gonna add what we call the spinach, made from a dough of just flour, salt, and water. That's all there is to it. Nothing fancy, but it's good in the stew piece. And the smaller the better, for me anyway. And this is why they call it spinach, because you spin it in your hand like this. Normally I just take a spoon and just take up little bits like this and drop it in. I'm doing the old-fashioned way.
So this is the authentic way.
Yeah. And this also helps to thicken it. Now I've dropped all the spinners in, or little dumplings, which they are. And I'm gonna leave it to simmer and reduce so that it becomes thicker.
That's good.
Yeah. I'm going to remove the thyme. What I'm going to do now is add a little bit of sugar. A little bit of sugar in your stews and your gravies make a lot of difference. Only a half a teaspoon I'm going to add. So I'm putting the lid halfway on because I don't want the water that condenses in the lid to drip back in the stew, because I want it to thicken, and that will keep it from thickening as fast as I want it to. Okay, so it's all finished, ready to go. Give it a stir so you can see the red beans that you're gonna spoon over the rice. And if it's too thick, all you do is just add a little water and stir. Do not pour in all this amount of water and then you've made it too thin, the consistency. So just add a little water at a time, because when it gets cold, it's going to be thicker. So if you're going to use it after it gets cold, you're going to warm it up, whether it's in the microwave or not, you got to add some water and stir it in and warm it up, because it's going to get quite thick.
So there we have it. Quick stew peas. And now we're going to plate it so you can see it. But this took about 15 to 20 minutes of simmering to get it thick once the water was added.
Yeah. So who's going to dine with me? I got my quick stew peas. I got my rice, my steamed rice. And to top it off, I got my salad. And you can't have stew peas and rice without fried plantain. So there you go, all laid out. Supper is ready to go in an hour with my quick stew peas. I should have mentioned while I was adding all the ingredients that some people like to put coconut milk in their stew peas. I was not used to that, so I don't cook with it, but whoever likes it should go ahead and add coconut milk wherever they can. Till we meet again, but remember to go to the website cooklikeajamaican.com,
where you can get the recipe and all the measurements.
where you can get all the recipes, the ones before and this one and the ones to come. All the recipe with all the measurements to guide you along, and happy cooking. Hello! Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? If not, just press the button below and subscribe, and you'll get more of our delicious recipes. So do that and you'll be happy like I'm happy at the moment cooking for you all. Bye for now.